Energy boost. Energy, energy, energy. Everyone complains about being tired, exhaustion, and brain fog. They need energy. They want energy. Can we improve energy? Yes. Let's look at 3 facts, 3 tools, and 3 life stages. Stress damages the body, and stress initially shows up as fatigue, then exhaustion, and cumulative stress over time can lead to illness. Cell renewal is how our body responds to stress damage. Nutrition and oxygen are required to create the building blocks for cell renewal. When oxygen and nutrition are compromised, cells can't renew, and your once perky self becomes a slow grind. I bet you know what I'm talking about. That can lead to illness. See that picture? That was me. Well, it's not really me, but it gives you an idea of what was. You see that X? Oh yeah, that was me. I was going down, and it took time from the beginning when I started working in corporate. About 2 years later, I started to not feel good. So what was the discovery? While healing from cancer, I discovered that there were tools I could use to monitor my oxygen, because when I had cancer, it wasn't genetic. And I think it led back eventually to plugged up blood vessels, plugged up lymphatics, and I don't think that food and nutrition had a chance to get to the cells so that they could repair in a timely manner. And it affected my immune system. One of the first things I learned to use is a nitric oxide test strip. I know in some of these videos I am being redundant, but that is because I'm afraid you're not listening, and it's taken me 50 years to learn how to be my best. And I'm 71, and what if you're 20, 30, 40, or 50, or 60? I don't want you to waste that much time. Okay, you ready? This is cool. First time I did it, as I mentioned before, I couldn't even get this off white to barely pink. And that's when I was doing cancer therapy. You can imagine my discouragement, but I did heal from cancer alternatively. That was pretty exciting. The simple test of the nitric oxide test strips measures nitric oxide, which facilitates oxygen uptake to each cell and really helped me track progress. For years, when people complained of exhaustion, even teens and college students, I would pull out a nitric oxide test strip and offer it to them to see if they wanted to test it. And do you know, they invariably tested like pink. I was shocked because I was so sure that the nitric oxide deficiency only had to do with me being in my 60s. But no, it is across the board, and this is why I think it's very stress related. Oximeter, as I got older, very older, and I had heart issues, my doctor suggested using an oximeter, and lo and behold, and I had some heart things go on. Let's see, I'm coming in at a 96 right now. That's oxygen absorption. But for years after I had cancer and had heart disease, until I cleaned out my blood vessels using I used ozone porphyrin IV, which it has been a patented process. It cleaned out my blood vessels, and guess what? My heart got stronger because I was getting more nutrition to my heart muscle. It's very exciting. And now, I never thought I'd get to 98 or 99, but in the last couple weeks, using my little oximeter, I made it to 99. Now that was worth fighting for the last 5 years, and I'm pretty excited. And this is something you can use as a tool to monitor your energy too. We're talking really about improved microcirculation because stress pushes cortisol. The adrenals put out cortisol, and our blood vessels actually constrict in that fight or flight syndrome. And so we're constantly battering our blood vessels, on top of the fact that we build up what I call sludge, but plaque and calcium builds up over time, and those blood vessels really get depleted and damaged. The interesting thing is physicians discuss heart blockage, but 90% of 20,000 miles of blood vessels are really only 1 cell wide. That's huge. So there's been times when I've heard friends say, my cardiologist said my heart was blocked, and so they cleaned up my heart area or aorta. And I'm thinking to myself, those are huge. Those are huge muscles, really. But what about the muscles that are in your toes not muscles, the blood vessels that are in your toes that become blocked and full of sludge, and then you start getting numbness in your toes, the beginning of neuropathy. Nobody talks about how to fix that, but the answer, I believe, is to fix your microcirculation, your blood vessels. This is key. I spent thousands of dollars learning all this. I had to because I wanted to stay alive. I have 2 beautiful grandchildren that they're so much fun, and I didn't want to stop yet. So when you're younger, I really don't think you need the tools I needed to fix. But things like apple cider vinegar and ascorbic acid, which vitamin C, are things that help to keep your blood vessels kind of clean. They kind of do a little scrubby thing. And water, we're supposed to drink really half our weight a day in water. I'm not going to tell you what my weight was, but I should be drinking pretty close to a gallon of water a day. I've been slacking lately, and it shows up when I do my analyses, my Menla scan. So I'm going to have to amp that up. I'm close, but I'm not perfect on that. So many people talk about exhaustion. I wish someone had explained the importance of multivitamins and micronutrients when I was young. I read Adele Davis's Eat Right to Keep Fit, but I really didn't understand how to put that all together when I was going hell-bent for leather to get my school done and raising a family. I wish that I had understood the importance of hydration. I wish I had set aside time for a happy space where I could stop the racing in my head and chill. Maybe even meditate and pray. At least better understand that out of control does happen. So adjusting and adaptation is its own kind of win. This is very important. For midlife, everything I just said previously, plus I again wish I had drank serious amounts of water, watched my minerals, and made sure I had enough electrolytes, and done weights. I walked. I walked 4 and 5 miles right through my 40s and 50s, probably 4 times a week. But you know what? I went from running at 37 to walking, and it just didn't have the cardio boost that I needed to clean my blood vessels. So interestingly, I really actually feel better after I do weights now. Like I get a little spark in my brain, which is always helpful before I go to work. These things will help you offset sludge. It's very important. Stepping into the 50s, I would say ages 48 to 70, I feel I could have avoided heart disease and cancer if I had known what I was walking into and had a better understanding of prevention. Doctors would say, hey, your cholesterol's too high, but they didn't explain what that meant and what the ramifications were, and maybe how I could fix it alternatively. And who could blame them, really? Because, we all expect doctors to fix us when it occurs, whatever that it is, or when it happens. And, they're not paid to teach. And frankly, a lot of us aren't really in tune, and it's almost a waste of time for them to teach. But it is our job to learn. It is our job to learn what we need in order to make life the best it can be while we're here. I wish I had understood that stress also can cause fluid retention. We didn't really understand that till recently. Now I eat salads daily, and it's the magnesium in the dark leafy greens. Sometimes if I know why things work, it helps me do it, because I hated eating salads. I hated taking the time to make salads. But the magnesium in the dark leafy greens helps with oxygen uptake, especially helpful for the heart, okay? And of course, beets. I know we were talking about beets a lot lately. That is oxygen uptake central. Very important. I wish in my, I'm pretty active, but I wish I had sat less, exercised more, and done weights, like I said, and added more weights as I stopped running. And I know I've said that before, and I am being redundant. I wish I had done a semi-annual cleanse in retrospect. I went to classes on cleansing, but I was too cheap to give it a try. And my friends that did those semi-annual cleanses really did. They always looked healthy when I saw them, and they had a little bit more vitality, certainly a lot more vitality, but that helps clean out the junk in your liver and your blood vessels. So important. I now clearly see that as my blood vessels slowly filled up, my health gradually deteriorated. So this comes to you with a lot of love, and now is the time to value your health, embrace your purpose, respond, not react, respect, share, and love. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you.